Welcome to New Hampshire. Tonight we're here for race number 2 of the Quantum Contender series of the second of season 2 here, as this was previously known as the Undisputed Cup series. If you're just joining us for the first time here tonight, but this is the Quantum Contender series, race number 2 tonight here at New Hampshire for the 4 Years Outfitters 160, and qualifying just wrapped up. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get some technical issues on our end, so luckily we were able to get through, get here for the race. So. Tonight we got 160 laps here tonight from New Hampshire, and these drivers lining up on the grid here tonight. Starting on the pole tonight, it is the 25 of Dorian Hamilton, and alongside him will be the 5 of Jason Bottoms. He'll start second tonight. Starting third will be the 9 of Cody Dorsey, and then it will be the 99 of Cody Pruitt. Starting in fifth tonight will be the 11 of Braden Van Wingerden, and alongside him in the 48 will be Trenton Besgrove. Starting in seventh tonight will be the 33 of Dan Barone, and alongside him will be the 2 of Joshua Smits. The ninth place will be the 17 of Derek Riley, and running at the top 10 here tonight will be Mike D. Marshall in the 88 machine. Starting 11th will be the 52 of Cole Lewis. Brendan Newt will start 12th in that 28 machine. Starting 13th tonight will be the 83 of Eli Shepard, and Rusty Rafferty will start 14th. Starting 15th will be David Wells, and starting at 16th will be Dan Stockerow. Stephen Horner will start 17th in the 71 machine tonight, and in the 14 machine, Scott Kerber will start 18th. Starting 19th will be the 7th Braden Kuckhausen, and Dick Bly will start 20th in that 8 machine. And Nick DeStragla in the 95 will round out 21 car field here tonight from New Hampshire. With Dorian Hamilton last week having a solid run, kind of running around that top 10 all week last week. Wasn't running up front in around that top 5 area. Didn't have that speed, but comes to a short track this week, so he puts it on the pole. So we'll see what Dorian Hamilton has for tonight. 160 laps, and these drivers 2 pace laps around here at New Hampshire. As I believe it's a one mile racetrack, so we do get 1 pace lap here. But Dorian Hamilton gonna be on the front row alongside with Jason Bottoms here to start out here tonight. These drivers looking to try and put a win on the tally here tonight. This last week it was Cameron Gilmore able to win at the Brickyard. Not here tonight to go back to back. So we'll see who can win tonight here from New Hampshire. The race pace car will take that hard left turn onto pit road into the Echo Park automotive restart zone. Dorian Hamilton leads to the green, and green flags in the air. We're on the way here from New Hampshire. Straightaway, Hamilton will clear easily for that race lead. Now to Jason Bottoms in second, sitting in third, Cody Dorsey. And Brandon Van Wingerden sits in the fourth there, slots in the fourth, but he blinks out there for a second. Now he's falling back to fifth as he's now side by side with Cody Pruitt for that 4th place spot. Down to the turn at number 1. As Dorsey right to the outside lane, and Wingerden on the bottom side by side down to the turn at off of turn number 2 now down the back straightaway. Wingerden will slide into third as Dorsey now on the bottom on the top lane. He'll go to the way out to the racetrack, all the way up on that kind of older pavement out there on the top. It's a little darker colored pavement on the outside lane there, on the inside. So we got the lighter colored pavement. The side by side with Dan Barone now is Cody from the 99 machine. So Dan Barone also going to the high lane, kind of on the lighter colored pavement up on the top lane. We'll slot down and come down a little bit, kind of diamond the corner a little bit. It's down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Barone will go all the way up there, so it seems like there's a lot of grip kind of on that very high side of the racetrack so far tonight. Also there also usually is a lot of grip down there and a lot of speed down on the apron. You have to see anyone use that so far tonight. He's going down there pretty much on the flat area down there. It's kind of the apron is flat, and then kind of that first lane is also flat, and then it starts to progressively get some progressive banking through those other lanes. So there's a lot of banking, a little bit more banking up on the top lanes as Cody Dorsey gets really way up the racetrack. Gets into the outside wall a little bit, and now he's got Dan Barone who's inside, side by side for that 4th place spot. Barone has the nose out into turn number 1. as Jerome will try and slide on through in front of Cody Dorsey here, knocking into it, getting into it. Now, yes, he will. So David Jerome will clear in front of Cody Dorsey there. As everyone's using the high lane, there is no one on the bottom of the racetrack. Everyone's standing it all the way on the top lane, kind of on the older pavement up on the top lane. You've never really seen anyone run up there, except maybe for Indy cars if you're an Indy car here in the service. But usually you're never on that way higher pavement. Looks like they're a little bit lower in 1 and 2, kind of on that fresher pavement on the bottom. Kind of on that top lane of that darker color scene. But here, 3 and 4, they are going way up the racetrack, I'm doing these top 2 lanes. So that seems to be where the speed is so far tonight. But they also are kind of diamonding down, coming down about off the second lane of the corner right now. So they got to be careful doing that too much. If you do that a little bit too much, that will easily overheat your tires. Warming your tires. Dorian Hamilton, our race leader, he's kind of sitting right there, kind of towards the middle of the racetrack. They're kind of a more expected line to run. So Dorian Hamilton, we'll see how that works out for him. Right now, he looks like he's having a good lane. These drivers just trying to find clean air. Clean air also going to be a big factor as well, especially if you're in track position, you're in a short track. Very important. So you got to see Dorian Hamilton kind of running that middle lane there right now for Hamilton. Down the back straightaway right now, everyone kind of single filed out through the top 10, except down here close to the battle of the racetrack. Now it extends out a little bit as they go through the corner. But Joshua Schmitz on the outside, Derek Riley on the bottom. They're both side by side battling here for 8th as Riley will slot back in line. Kind of getting a 2-3-10 gap between each other. Not really, no one making too many moves right there. But Schmitz goes up the racetrack a little bit. You try and go out of the fresh pavement on the bottom, it looks like. Gonna get on that older pavement on the very top lane. That seems to work a little bit better here in 1 and 2, 3 and 4 to use that very outside lane. Joshua Smith will clear down off of turn number 4. Actually, no, he won't. He'll stay to the outside, able to get the run. This is side by side. There's a wind drive down pit road. Good line down pit road early here, lap number 10. Doing it is about 55 laps. These drivers looking about 110, so you're gonna have it's gonna be a 2-stop easily. So early stop there. So it's gonna be about a pretty bit easily 2-stop race, depending on if you're shifting or not. If you're not shifting, you can go from 4th to 5th. But you can also go just kind of stay 4th to 3rd. So we'll see how that plays out. With the shifting tonight. Probably staying on the bottom. No one really making any moves just yet. Cole Lewis now, he's trying to make a move on Brandon Newton here for this 11th place spot. Everyone single filed out by a couple of tenths between each other. No battles currently out on the racetrack, but Dorian Hamilton putting a dominant fashion right now here, still out in front with 12 laps into this one. He's got about 1/8 of a second lead. Now let's take a look at let's go on board here with Dorian Hamilton right now. But he is going to third gear through the corners. So we do have kind of a normal engine sound. This last one you can still hear him messing up a little bit, but actually stuck on the higher pitched engine sounds. Dorian Hamilton, let's take a look here on this lap. So he's going up the 4th gear. It's down into turn number 1. He'll shift down to 3rd gear, kind of stay into that middle part of the racetrack. Kind of an expected line there, so usually a good line here in New Hampshire. Down to the back straightaway, down 3-4. We'll see it. 3-4 seems to be trending a little bit higher up on the racetrack for a lot of the drivers, so that's a little bit of the same lap there, same line there. So through 3 and 4, so pretty good lap right now for Dorian Hamilton. running pretty strong out there for the race lead. Wingard trying to hunt down Jason Bottoms here. Jason Bottoms now in the lead, in second here, holding the second place spot. And so far, the top five have pulled away from the rest of the field by a big margin. There's a few more battles, a little bit closer. Gaps back in the second pack right now. So right now it's Cody Pruitt still sitting in fifth, sixth. It's now Cody Dorsey now trying to work to the inside. He goes side by side here with Cody Pruitt. Single file still down the back straightaway. Do have Brant Newton and Cole Lewis still about a couple tenths, so it's 1 to 2 tenths between some drivers. Now here comes Eric Riley, had a good run on the bottom through 3 and 4, trying to clear the inside of Joshua Schmitz. Saw this happen earlier in the race, about 10 laps ago. We kind of saw this similar battle going on here, but now Derek Riley way up the racetrack, up against the outside wall in 1 and 2 here. See if he makes some ground off of it. Actually, not too bad up there on the top lane. Now it's side by side with Mike Marshall on the inside of Derek Riley. Derek Riley gonna get to the outside wall. Maybe just tagged it a little bit. Looked like they kept it out of it there. Derek Riley still on the outside. So I'm really shocked to see that this very outside lane seems to be working tonight. Usually not really a faster lane here. Dorian Hamilton though, he is pulled away by 2 seconds now. So he's really put the afterburners on. And as we get later into this run. Able to get by Mikey Marshall, but Cody Pruitt starting to fall back on the very outside as you see both of those drivers able to get by there. As Brandon Joshua Smith is pulled away by Derek Riley. Brandon Newton got passed by Cole Lewis as well, so that's right behind Cole Lewis as well. Cody Bird really starting to struggle right now as he's starting to fall back big time. He's fallen all the way outside of the top. He was sitting there in 6th, and now he's fallen all the way back to 10th here. And now he's under attack from Cole Lewis. Meanwhile, buck up front, Jason Bottoms got passed by Braden Van Winkert. So Van Winkert got passed, and now Besgrove trying to get to the inside. Dan Perron makes a little bit of contact. They did get there, but Jason Bottoms did get past there as we were focusing on that battle for towards the back there. So let's kind of see how this move was made. So it looks like Bottoms got on the outside wall a little bit off of turn 2. Oh, and way deep into 3, way up the racetrack, and Wingard was able to take advantage. And Wingard just was able to clear down here in a 1 and 2. So Wingard with taking advantage of a mistake from Jason Bottoms there. So now he holds on to the second place spot. And then they start to kind of settle down a little bit here up front. Now Derek Riley is trying to get to the inside of Joshua Schmitz. Derek Riley will take to the inside. He's going to try and clear up in front of Schmitz. And no, he will not, as Schmitz will still fight back on the outside lane there. Side by side for the 7th place spot. Derek Riley on the bottom using that flat part of the racetrack. Usually the quicker way around. And there it goes. It makes it work on the bottom. any clears there. As just a few spots back, Cole Lewis was able to trying to get by Mike D. Marshall. As actually Brandon Shelton, as you see, kind of at the tail end, just in your screen there. As Brandon Newton also under attack from Cody Cruz and Rusty Rafferty. Cody Cruz is really falling back to 12th, as he is really falling back, as he's actually a second off the pace compared to anyone of a race leader right now, Dorian Hamilton. So Cody Cruz really put a lot of heat in those tires, really did not save those tires very well, as he's just stuck to the outside lane. Just getting in there, but Brandon Shelton into the outside wall. Brandon Newton into the outside wall, tags the outside wall. Looked like he got a good hit on it. Doesn't seem any major damage already, so right now, lost a spot. Didn't lose a spot yet, but Rusty Rafferty gonna slide on through and take that spot away. Rusty Rafferty, one of our top 3 finishers last week. Rusty Rafferty able to finish second. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. Lap ago for Brandon Shelton. As it happened here in the turn of 1 and 2. Brandon Shelton looked like he just got a little bit too deep into the corner. And he just completely missed it. And just went straight up into the outside wall. Got pretty lucky. Actually kind of turned him a little bit. So he got the car turned a little bit, but it doesn't look like getting too much damage for Newton there. So Brandon Newton holding in 12th right now, as right behind him is Scott Kerber. This really is the closest battle on the racetrack, as up front they have really spread out, about a second between each driver, half a second between Biz and Bottom, so that's the closest battle up into the top 5. I do have Cole Lewis trying to chase down Mike Marshall here, about a couple of tenths between them, between these two. Cole Lewis able to get by there through 1 and 2 on Mike Marshall. So Cole Lewis takes that 9th place spot away. David Wells, a lot of big battles back here in this, just outside the top 15, as Cody Pruitt falling all the way back. It really hurt those tires. I wonder, man, might be close to blowing the ring front maybe. As he's a lot of damage to those tires, a lot of hurt on those tires. He is struggling. He's falling back massively. Now Besgrove, he's closed the gap down a little bit back to Jason Bottoms, back to about 0.3 of a second now. He's closing in a little bit through the braking zones. Bottoms seems to be a little bit better off the exit of the corner compared to Besgrove, but they also have caught a lap machine. Is Eli Shepard of the 83 has gone a lap down. But Jason Bottoms out of the apron. So Bottoms making the apron line work there on the inside and able to pull away by a tenth or two there. Well, back to the 13th, the battle for 13th. Cuxhausen able to get by Stockero. Yeah, Stockero now with a good run through the center of the corner, getting good exits, not going to be able to do it. Now Stockero almost under attack from Brandon Newton. David Wells now down the front straightaway. Trying to get a draft on this 27 Stockero, but down in the 3 here for these battles. For third as Besgrove goes down to the bottom. Bottoms up the racetrack a little bit. Oh, but Besgrove might look like he almost tagged the wall there. Bottoms able to do the crossover. So he may have lifted there, kind of chucked up there through the straightaway. So I think Bottoms now is going to fall back. He falls back to 4th. So Jason Bottoms falls back to 4th. Another driver starting to fall back a little bit. This he is running a little bit slower, so it looked like kind of around that Cody Pruitt. Cody Pruitt actually came down pit road, and his tires were just that bad. He's really struggling as Badham's a little bit faster that lap, so he ran kind of a low 32 last lap by, but now at that time he's a 31.8, so still about 4/10 slower than Dorian Hamilton. But Dorian Hamilton, actually last lap was a 10th slower to Brandon Van Wingerdon, but he is no doubt much faster than the rest of the field, as only one other driver in the field was kind of in that same range, a 31.4, and it was Rowan Wingerd and one other driver that ran a 31.5 last time by. So these drivers starting to struggle a little bit on these tires. This tire wear really starting to fall off as Alcadorsi now gets to the inside of Dan Barone. Just the battle for that top 5 spot, looking to try to break back into the top 5. Alcadorsi able to make it work on the bottom. He gets in front of Dan Barone. Dorsey's starting to pull away a little bit back. Let's do that out here from 12. Scott Kerber just behind Mike Marshall. Oh, Jason Bottoms just starting to fall off. He comes down early. So Jason Bottoms down here early. Now this is going to be a little tough to do because now he's going to have to make an extra stop, as fuel is expected to be about 55 laps, but it seems like the tire were a little bit too much for Bottoms, so he's just going to cut his losses and try and make an extra stop. Where, as Cody Pruitt did the same, but he already went so far behind before he had to pit. So Jason Bottoms pits from the top 4. Close battle now still on the racetrack is Mike Marshall here and Scott Kerber, about 0.4 of a second. There's a few other drivers about 0.6 of a second back. Sitting in 12th, trying to get by Mike Marshall now, as Marshall is falling back behind Scott Kerber. Wells down to the bottom here in 3 and 4. Now David Wells will slot up in front of Mike Marshall and take that 11th place spot away. That's Derek Riley hunting down Dan Barone here. Now Derek Riley down on the bottom. He'll clear in front of Barone there through 3 and 4. Derek Riley will take that spot away, but Dan Barone gonna have a good run here down the front straightaway. So far down through 3 and 4, Derek Riley sitting there in 5th as Joshua Schmitz now trying to take advantage of that as he goes around the outside of Dan Barone, trying to take the spot away. On the wall right behind Joshua Smith, so Dan Barone looks like he got the wall a little bit there in 3, and yes he did, and now he's going to come down pit road. So heavy damage for Dan Barone. It looked like enough for him to just instantly come down pit road, maybe the tires as well. See a lot of tire wears issues going out apart for some of these drivers. As Jason Bottoms had it, Cody Brewer had it, and now Dan Barone. Also, let's take a look at what happened here in 3. Slap it down in turn number 3. So I just got a little bit deep, hit the outside wall there. So now Dan Barone's coming out of pit road here in 16. David Wells takes the spot as Rusty Rafferty comes down pit road. So these drivers just, maybe their tire wear is a little bit too bad to keep going, as these drivers do have about another 10 laps on fuel. And about 55 laps, so I mean they could probably pit, the window will open here in about 5 laps. Ideally now Josh Smith, he'll come down pit road. So a lot of pit stops happening here earlier than we expected. So Joshua Schmitz pits from that 8th place spot. So a lot of drivers really starting to come down pit road now, so maybe the fuel window was a little bit shorter than was expected, as a lot of the drivers expected around 55, a couple of drivers expected around 55 laps here tonight. So Ryan Hamilton trying to get by a lap machine there. The 7 machine of Brandon Cuxhausen. So Cuxhausen goes a lap down. Cuxhausen did not pit, so shows you how fast Dorian Hamilton has been tonight. But a lot of the apps have now separated as pit stops kind of a pit window kind of open right now. But Dorian Hamilton dominant fashion so far, as actually everyone behind him is pitted. That was in the top 5, as he's the only one kind of in that original top 5 that's still staying out of the racetrack. As Jason Bottoms, the Wingirden all went down pit road, as Jason Bottoms actually got in front of Wingirden with the undercut there. That gap's actually a 9-second gap with a 10-lap difference. So that shows you how big those tires were, how big the tire disadvantage was. The thing is, Bottoms though, he pitted really early. He's gonna have to make a 3rd stop. Same with Wingirden. So maybe we're gonna see probably a 3-stop race here. So that also shakes him a little bit, because Jason Bottoms put 11 laps to go, so he pitted around lap 38. So if you can only go about 50 laps on fuel, drivers are going to be a little closer. Out on the racetrack here between Joshua Schmitz, just coming out of the pit road, and Stephen Horner. So Stephen Horner yet to come down pit road. He's been out there for 49 laps. So Schmitz on the pressure tires will go right around the outside. Same with Dave Road. Dave Road with a really big run down in the 3 is actually back off the way. It's actually Joshua Schmitz overdrove the corner, hits the outside wall, and Dave Road will slot through on the bottom, and he will take the spot away. Maybe, no, he won't. He'll stay side by side with Joshua Schmitz. And he'll take that spot away, as Dorian Hamilton, he did come down pit road as well. So Dorian Hamilton comes out on pit road, and Jason Bottoms just barely out in front of him. So Jason Bottoms looks like he'll cycle out to the lead at this moment, but just for a moment, as Dorian Hamilton's right behind him, not able to get by him instantly, but we'll see how it goes here through 1 and 2 as Dorian Hamilton trying to hunt down that back bumper of Jason Bottoms. But down to the 3, Jason Bottoms will go to the bottom of the racetrack. As Dorian Hamilton, that's split the lap machine of Kerber. Kerber is still, well, Kerber's not a lap down yet, but now they pass him for position. So Kerber now falls back to 5th as now Hamilton sends it down to the bottom of the racetrack. It's Hamilton going to clear up in front, so Hamilton's really been the only one to make that work. And he's been easily the fastest. Everyone has pretty much been on the higher part of the racetrack. So Dorian Hamilton now looks like he'll take the net race lead once everyone pits, and looks like Dorsey and Derek Riley will be the last ones to pit. But the thing is, with Derek Riley and Cody Dorsey, they're looking like they are going to be able to make it on a 2-stop. No one else can. So we'll kind of see how the strategy plays out for these drivers.
Scott Kerber down pit lane as well. Cody Dorsey into his box.
So Cody Dorsey going to roll off the pit road now as the caution will come out.
Caution!
See who that was.
I think it was Brandon Newton. 20 machine. Trying to pit. I think he hit the pit barrels on the inch of the pit lane.
Let's take a look at what happened here. So Brandon Newton. Yeah, Brandon Newton. No, I don't even think he
just got loose.
Just kind of lost it through the corner, hit the pit barrels, bounced it back on the right, and blew the engine. So that'll be his night over.
Wow.
That early.
What a turn of events there, right in the pretty much the end of the pit cycle.
Yeah, that's going to shake up the strategy a little bit here. So while we have this moment under caution, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here for New Hampshire. here to New Hampshire as we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing after our first caution of the night. A green flag back in the air. Dorian Hamilton will hit the loud pedal. He'll clear for the lead pretty easily as Cole Lewis and Wingerdon will stay side by side behind. So kind of mixed strategy. Jason Bottoms came down pit road. He is sitting back in 5th as of now. But so far, down the back straightaway, it is clear for Dorian Hamilton by a multiple car lengths over the rest of the field. As Wingerdon sitting in 2nd, they're still side by side for 3rd. As Cole Lewis kind of holding up for Jason Bottoms. We have a mix of fresher tires and older tires completely through the rest of this field. As right now, Dorian Hamilton still taking this advantage to pull away as much as possible. As he just came out of pit road not a couple laps before that yellow came out there. So he's gonna have a pretty much fresh tires compared to everybody else's. But Jason Bottoms trying to work his way through. Cody Dorsey as well sitting up in 3rd as Dorsey just pitted 6 laps ago. Dan Verone pitted under that last caution. So Dan Verone sitting there in that 4th place spot trying to work on Cody Dorsey. So Cody Dorsey came out about 2 laps before that caution came out and these drivers were able to pit. And Dorian Hamilton pitted 10 laps ago, so about 5 laps before that yellow came out. Dorian Hamilton came out of pit road.
A lot of mid-pack battles right now. Jason Bottoms trying the outside line. There's a little bit of fresher tires. He pitted that last caution there. Same with Dan Barone. So almost 3 wide on the entry of turn 3. Yes, they will be. Bottoms are ripping the wall on the top side.
Jason Bottoms able to hold to that 6th place spot for now. Is right now Cole Lewis right behind him. Trenton Besgrove sitting there in that 6th place, 5th place spot now. As the battle for 3rd now coming on, but Cody Dorsey sitting there in 3rd. Devereaux right now holding in 4th, but kind of the rest of the top 5 starting to spread out a little bit. But now Jason Bottoms trying to close back down the Besgrove. Still kind of staying around there, but right now Joshua Smith's now in 8th as Cole Lewis down to the bottom. As Cole Lewis side by side as Lewis will clear up in front of Schmitz, well, clear behind Schmitz. A little bit farther in front, Jason Bottoms closing the gap down on Besgrove now for that 5th place spot.
What we can do here,
Trying to find his way through.
Bottoms seems like he really likes that middle to outside line. But this time he runs the inside turn 1 and 2. I think he can really run any line he wants. It seems like he's comfortable against the wall in the middle and on the bottom as well. So as a battle for 3rd place, Cody Dorsey is a battle for the race lead as well. Side by side.
Wingerdon able to chase down Dorian Hamilton, and Hamilton actually pitted after. So Wingerdon able to chase him down there. And a great run for Wingerdon right now as he now takes the race lead away from Dorian Hamilton. So look at just Hamilton got chased down, was able to keep the speed up, and now Brandon Van Wingerdon goes to the race lead. The first driver to really see take the race lead outside of the pit cycles. See if Hamilton has anything for him.
As here comes.
Yeah, but now we got a battle back for 4th here between Besgrove and Cody Dorsey. As Besgrove working the bottom, but as you kind of mentioned, Jason Bottoms running that kind of outside lane. That seems to be the dominant lane tonight. A lot of these drivers running that top, kind of top lane of that darker pavement to maybe even the lighter pavement on the very outside. As usually you see them kind of on that flat part on the bottom, bottom of the corner instead of one or first or second lane, maybe even the apron. But it seems like tonight's racetrack has enough grip. The outside lane seems to be a little bit quicker so far tonight.
I was kind of settling in here after that kind of a late caution in the pit cycle there. These drivers settling in, a few tenths in between each of them. As some of them paying out under that caution, like Dan Brown, 11 lap old tires currently. Compared to our race leaders who has 21 and 16. The top 2 not really separating too much within 2 tenths of each other, but here comes Dan Brown. He's really gaining on these top 2 right now.
Yeah, Dan Barone trying to close the gap in right now. Last time Dan Barone went about 4 tenths faster than a race leader of Brandon Van Wingert, and as Wingert not very fast that last time by, actually 4/10 slower than Dorian Hamilton sitting there in second. So far working well for Wingert, and Hamilton's slowly closing the back up, but now Wingert pulls away off of 4.
You see Barone ripping the outside pretty much there. Trying to get as much cleaner as he can on the top side. Gotta be careful though, don't burn up your tires too much. Try and catch up to the race leaders.
And so far he's trying to close the gap in. Not able to do it yet, but we'll see if Dorian Hamilton, he really pulled away through that longer run. We'll see if that plays out for him. But so far, Dorian Hamilton is starting to fall back a little bit to Dan Barone. As Barone running the outside lane way up the racetrack. See, that's where Dan Barone seems to be the most comfortable tonight so far.
The top 6 have really separated themselves from the rest of the field. Jason Bombs trying to close into the top 5 spot. Of them is Cody Dorsey, a 9 machine. The top 5 pretty close together, about 1.5 tenths separates all those drivers. So no one's really able to get away too much here in the early stages of this one, 15 laps into the green flag run.
Yes, this run has been a lot closer so far into this one, as after about 20-25 laps in that first run, we saw that they really started to spread out throughout the top 5. We saw Dorian Hamilton able to pull away from the rest of the field, but right now Dorian Hamilton sitting in second during this run, as he is but he is at a slight tire advantage, but it didn't seem to halter Wingert at all, as Wingert was able to easily get by and he actually chased down Hamilton early from that restart. It seems like the other advantages for Dan Barone, that's been working out for him to hold on to kind of 3rd and 4th, like kind of once they get with a few tenths of a second. Looks like kind of the dirty air starts to play a factor. These drivers just can't really find a way by, can't find an opportunity to get by just yet.
Jason Bombs has lost a little bit of time there to the top 5 spot drivers. Not a great few laps there for that 5 machine. Unfortunate for him, but still pretty close here for 3rd place. Dan Barone and Trenton Besgrove there in that 48 machine. About 2 tenths in between those drivers. Besgrove using the bottom lane here in 3 and 4, trying to maybe get some clean air here on Barone, but Barone just using that momentum on the top side, staying ahead for now.
So far working well for Wingert, and as he's really gone away. A side-by-side with Besgrove now, and Barone on the top lane. Besgrove just behind on the bottom.
Almost had the outside wall there, got really tight at the back out of it big time. Here comes Besgrove, slide dropping in there in 1. Watch for the crossover here. There it is.
He's going to make it work as Besgrove sits on the top lane, but the
Barone
on the bottom with the crossover going to get to the inside. Now these guys battling, helping Cody Dorsey close in a little bit, but it's also allowing those top 2 to pull away. They don't want to battle too much and lose all the time out in front. But we'll see down the first straightaway into turn number 1. Dan Barone on the inside. Can't get the move done on Besgrove yet, but off of 2, yes he will. He'll slide up in front as Besgrove with a really good run, trying to sneak around the outside, almost tags the outside wall, but he can't find his way by. Dan Barone will hold on to 3rd.
There goes Besgrove, he's not done yet. Just sending it deep to 3. Gonna try to hold on to the bottom, but Barone on the top side most likely. Gonna get that momentum, and yes he will. He'll clear off of turn 4 once more.
Well, fight back down on the bottom as now Besgrove going to slide on through.
Not
Going to try and
quite
slide
clear.
up in front of Barone.
Oh,
Is he going to be
he
able to
is.
do it? Yes, he will. Barone going to
Oh,
try
got
and
tight.
slide back to the bottom. Besgrove hard on the outside wall.
Oh, and Barone sideways trying to save it into the grass. The cut
He's going to go
through
down
the
the
road
road
course.
course. So Dan
Gotta
Barone
watch out.
kind of had to jerk the wheel one way and then lost it. And lost as it weight shifted back.
So
and now
much
he's
time
taking
lost.
the road course. And Dan Barone is going to get back out there. Nice. We'll see if he's able to get that clear. That might be a credit and course penalty. Should be easily able to ask that for a clear there.
As I was still side by side for third place, Besgrove and Dorsey. Besgrove shut the door off of turn number 2. Let's take a quick replay what happened there. I just saw Barone just got a bit too loose, trying to get off, make sure Besgrove didn't hit him, and just got kind of weight shifted it right there.
The car got very snappy and weight shifty as this next gen typically likes to do, but no penalty, so he didn't have to clear anything. So it was fine, but he did lose a lot of time there as he falls all the way back to 7 and 9 seconds out of the race lead. Close battle on the racetrack currently still is that the 7 of Brandon Cuxhausen kind of around this battle with Cole Lewis, Cody Pruitt. There's a few closer battles, a few battles as well back for 14th and 15th with Mike Marshall and Scott Kerber and David Wellsman sitting in 13. But now Rusty Rafferty going to go to the inside of Cuxhausen trying to get by, but Rashford a lap down. So actually, that yellow really kind of split the strategy a little bit and trapped 5 guys a lap down there. So that was Rusty Rafferty, David Wells, Mike Marshall, Scott Kerber, and Dan Stockero all got trapped 1 lap down during that pit cycle. So we'll kind of see how that plays out again. These drivers, they have about another 30 laps on fuel for the drivers who pit under that last yellow. But someone for like Wingirden has to pit in about 20 laps. So we could see a mix of different strategies, and the goal here for these drivers get to about lap 105. So you need to try and be able to go about 23 more laps to make it on a 1 stop from here on out. And if that's the case, Brandon Van Wingert is going to be a little close, depending on how much he was able to save under that yellow.
And we'll see, but the top 2 still kind of nose to tail so much, about a few car lengths in between them. They've really pulled away from the rest of the field as we saw that heated battle for P3 between Besgrove and Barone. They didn't really make any contact with each other, but here comes to the race lead side by side. Here comes Hamilton on the inside. Easily going to clear for the race lead. No competition on the exit of turn 2.
Dorian Hamilton, great move there off of turn 2. As you can start to see, I think those tires really starting to play a factor. As Wingert here way up the racetrack, he's really starting to struggle with those tires. And just like last run, Dorian Hamilton seems to be a lot better on the older tires. But we'll see how this strategy plays out, because Dorian Hamilton has about 22 laps he can make, probably go at the longest. I think Hamilton could probably make it on a 1 stop from here on out, but he did pit pretty early in that first run, so we'll see if he does again. But 1 stop available for Dorian Hamilton if he stays out, but he's going to have to stay out on the older tires a little bit. It seems to be a little bit better for Van Wingert. Looks like he's not going to be able to make it on the 1 stop, so he's going to have to make it an extra pit stop anyways. And I believe after I said that, I think he's coming down pit road. Yes, he is. So Brandon Van Wingert will pit for that 2nd place spot, as he's not going to be able to make it on 1 stop. So he's going to have to make 1 more green flag stop during this run. Wingert will come down pit road. We'll see if he takes 2 tires. Try to maybe save a little bit of time, but he's already on the older tires. He'll come down to his box. He will take 4 fresh tires. And moves back to the battle with 5th here, Jason Bottoms. They're the close battle on the racetrack. Bottoms down to the bottom, and now he will pit. So Bottoms was able to make it on a 1 stop there as well, based off our original fuel numbers. So the original fuel number didn't account for didn't account for the shifting. So if you're not shifting, you're going to be able to make it on a one stop, and especially if you pitted last caution, be able to easily make it on one stop if you're not shifting, because we saw about 3 or 4 guys still three or 4 drivers still able to make it about 55 laps on fuel, so kind of in that window. So we will see how that plays out as Jason Bottom's still sitting in pit road. They'll take 4 tires just like Wingirden, as Wingirden will jump him off of pit road, so Wingirden will still cycle out in front of him.
When will
Hamilton, our race
though?
leader, out to a 3-second lead once again.
Can you make it on a one-stop race? Could be not impossible, but he has to go probably around 15 or so more laps. Which, based off the 55 lap fuel run, I mean, should be easily able to do it. There's one driver pitting right in front of him. As Brandon Newton, who was caused the caution on lap 55. He's back out on the racetrack there. Very surprisingly, with a blown engine, he's only 4 laps down. Actually, he might have a fast repair. Yeah, he does. So yeah, he uses fast repair obviously there, but having the tow cost him a couple laps, 4 laps down currently, and now back down pit lane for our 28 machine with 78 laps to go. A little past halfway here for the 4 years. Gutfitters 160. Outfitters 160, excuse me.
So far here, 90 laps into this one, so we're into that second half of this race. We're gonna see a mix of different strategies here.
Ooh, Rick Hamilton got a bit loose there off of turn number 4, so you can see the tires starting to wear out. Also about for second, heating up. Here comes Cody Dorsey on Trenton Desgrove. Right, second place spot, 3/10 between those 2 drivers, both of which have not pitted yet so far in this green flag run.
And now, as Brandon Van Woudengerden, he just unlaps himself from Dorian Hamilton. So I mentioned that battle for second as Desgrove was able to get by Cody Dorsey. But it makes a different strategies here right now. But not many battles racing out on the racetrack just happened now as Cody Pruitt actually just gets by Mike Marshall. That's a close battle out there on the racetrack. But Cody Pruitt pitted 4 laps ago, so he's just on the fresher tires trying to make some ground up. But the drivers who have pitted on this cycle so far have been Van Woudengerden, Bottoms, Barone, and Pruitt have all pitted. Brandon Newton as well, but Brandon Newton was stuck multiple laps down as he looks like he may have got a penalty. He's now 5 laps down. Especially though he did get back out there somehow, even with the blown engine. So
Well, you have a fast repair you did
maybe
use.
it was. Oh, he put 1 fast repair, so Brandon Newton able to fix take his fast repair. But he is 5 laps down, so he did have to tow under that caution. But now Cody Dorsey now hunting back down Desgrove here, as they actually do have Brandon Newton and Jason Bottoms right behind. So Jason Bottoms pitted early, kind of right around the same spot as Woudengerden, but he is 7 seconds behind Woudengerden. And actually did pit 1 lap after him, but he was really far back already. But now Jason Bottoms locks up, trying to find his way by, as he's still battling with Newton, as now Desgrove will go down the pit road before he loses the spot to Cody Dorsey on the racetrack. So these drivers still looking probably about 10 more laps is the number they need to hit. Is Dorian Hamilton looking like to hit that number right where he needs to? Hamilton should be able to make it. We'll see if he pits any earlier or not. Cody Dorsey still sitting in second currently as Dorian Hamilton staying out of the racetrack. So Dorian Hamilton, Cody Dorsey looking to make it on that kind of one stop same with Derek Riley. Derek Riley going to be able to do it. Cole Lewis going to be a little bit tighter. It's going to be really close for Cole Lewis, but Brandon Cuxhausen is able to make it on a one stop pretty easily. Rusty Rafferty as well, but Rusty Rafferty already one lap down. So he's pretty much going to have to pull that one stop strategy to try and hopefully get back on the lead lap, assuming the drivers that can do it on lead lap can't do it.
Looks like most of them aren't even trying to, except a handful.
Tires seem to be a big difference, but usually the tires, pitting an extra stop for tires really doesn't work out unless you're still losing time. But if it's still losing time as the older and older the tires gets. But if you start to the tire wear starts to kind of plateau after about and even out after about like 20, 25, even 30, 40 laps. If they kind of start to flatten out and you really don't get any more tire wear after about 30 or so laps, it's not really worth it to come in and pit again. Overall, you don't make enough time back up as eventually your tires will even out after about 10 or 20 laps. But it looks like only about 3 or 4 drivers can, 4 or 5 drivers could do this that are still out there on the racetrack on the lead lap. Brandon Cuxhausen, the last one running of them, is actually, he almost just got hit by Scott Kerber, but he's under attack from Brandon Van Wingert, as Wingert now is actually pitted already, is actually right behind Brandon Cuxhausen. So I don't know if Cuxhausen, it might not be a fast strategy to try and make this one stop for him. We'll see if it plays out, but Wingert's already about to unlap it, already about to pass him back for position, as Cuxhausen is also 20 seconds back from race leader Dorian Hamilton. But we'll see out Dorian Hamilton, how much longer he can stay on the racetrack. If he can go about 3 more laps, he'll be able to make it. He also was able to stay a little bit under the yellows as well. But we'll see how that plays out for him. But really, I think kind of the one you want to watch between Dorian Hamilton and Cody Dorsey here, because Dorsey's going to be a little bit more, has a little bit more advantage, so he can probably go about 2-3 laps longer, have a little bit of an overcut. You can also see maybe a 2-tire strategy call as well. That could play out a factor, but you also do have to go the longest, pretty much the longest run you can possibly go.
The top 4 have yet to pit. This is really gonna be an interesting strat. I mean, I think the 2-stopper will maybe prevail. I mean, I don't know. It's just very. I think right now I don't know. They're pretty even. It seems like on strategy call here. It's definitely a hard decision if I was one of these drivers. Here comes Cole Lewis down pit lane. Definitely not the easiest call in the world, whether you want to do this a 1-stop or a 2-stop. There's so many
Hamilton's
factors.
Still out there on the racetrack. He's kind of where his number he needs to be. Same with Cole Lewis. But right now, Wingert has got back on the lead lap. He's about 18 seconds back. He's no doubt going to have the net race lead once everybody pits, but his goal is to try and make up enough time for an extra stop. The thing is with Wingert, he needs to have probably a 20-second advantage to try and win the race off the extra stop. And but right now he does not have that. He's actually about a lap and a half advantage, unless he can just kind of splash and go. So I don't know, he will gain a lot of time, but I don't think it will work out to win the race for Wingert. And it might work out for kind of maybe to get a top 5, but he was already running second, so I think someone that it could work out for the extra stop is maybe someone who's towards the back, kind of outside that top 10. They weren't really gain much, but we'll see, because it also could work out. He might be able to still beat Cole Lewis. Actually, Cole Lewis just came down pit road, so Cole Lewis is going to be kind of tight on that number, as Dorian Hamilton's still staying on the racetrack. He's no doubt going to have to pit about an lap or two, as he's actually dropped about 1.7 seconds to Cody Dorsey. So he's dropped his gap about half a gap, cut the gap in half for Cody Dorsey. So I think Dorian Hamilton might be saving a little bit. Try to be saving just a little bit here and there. So I've heard him a little bit. Dorian Hamilton still he's in that range now to make it. But now he's pulling away as now Cody Dorsey has come down pit road. So Cody Dorsey comes down pit road. He did 53 laps, so he's going to be right on that number to make it on the one stop. Derek Riley, another driver to look at for it. So we'll see Hamilton looking like, so he's going to be better on fuel than Cody Dorsey. As Dorian Hamilton looks like he's had the early save.
Comes Dorian Hamilton down pit lane. Here coming to 52 laps to go. As he has a black flag down pit lane, speeding Dorian Hamilton.
Big penalty, as he was a dominant car here tonight and speeding on pit road. And that goes to show you pit road can make or break your race, as just speeding a little bit just over the just a little bit over pit road speed on the entry. And really unfortunate there, as he hit the line at about 50 miles an hour and pit road speed 45. So pit road speed 50, he had 57 on the pit line and pit road speed 45. So he was 13 over as he got in pit road.
Wow.
Unfortunate for Dorian Hamilton.
This guy out here for fourth place. Oh, a little contact there.
And that's going to shake up the strategy between Derek Riley and Cody Dorsey, because now Derek Riley still staying on the racetrack. He can go maybe a lap or two more now. And now, so Cody Dorsey, if he ends up coming up a little bit short here on fuel, he's going to be, for Derek Riley, be the first one to benefit. But Derek Riley down pit road as Brandon Van Wingert now takes the race lead. So I have to keep an eye on his gap between him and Cody Dorsey. Right now, Cody Dorsey's about 20 seconds back. Now, Wingert, when he pits again, he'll be able to make some time back up. So right now, Wingert needs to, same with Jason Bottas, Brandon Van Wingert, Trenton Besgrove. They all pitted early. Dan Verone, Joshua Schmitz. Right now, they all need to kind of focus on just trying not to lose time to the drivers who's going to be able to make it on the one stop. It just came down pit road. So you want to try and minimize your losses here, so you can make up as much time as possible after your last stop. Right now, this is looking good for Wingert now after Hamilton got that penalty, because right now it's only about an 18-second gap for Wingert to Cody Dorsey. So he still needs about another 10 seconds, just depending on when he pits. And you don't want to pit too early here, because then you won't have much advantage at all. We'll see Derek Riley's right behind him. So, I mean, if Cody Dorsey, if he got a little bit short on fuel a little bit, and he doesn't make it, Derek Riley's not even back on the lap right now for Wingert. So this could have worked out for Wingert after Hamilton got that speeding penalty.
Yeah,
but Carl Lewis goes around, but right behind the race leader.
No, keeps it straight for now. No, he did not spin out. We stayed green. So we'll take a quick replay of that one. They were 3 wide out the exit of turn number 2 there. New tires,
he didn't
old
expect
tires,
to catch him 3 wide.
Yeah, just...
it looked like Stephen Horner was really slow off the exit. Didn't expect him to catch him 3 wide. He was way off the wall, so Cole Lewis had to come down to avoid from hitting Stephen Horner and turning him, and then he ended up getting into the inside of the car there as well of Eli, Mike Marshall, Derek Riley. But Derek Riley, though, he just come off pit road. He's right behind Van Wingert and not making too much time. So right now, if Wingert was to come down pit road and take 2 tires, he'd only need to gain about 10 seconds, maybe on Derek Riley, maybe a little bit less, maybe about 7. 2 tires will no doubt be the call if you're pitting at extra time here. Usually the 2 tires is faster.
Most of the field pretty spread out for now after that pit cycle. I think the one to watch out for here is Cody Dorsey for sure. 17 seconds back from the race leader, and currently he's about 0.3 of a second quicker than him the last few laps. And if Dorsey, I mean, it's gonna be interesting because these drivers that are doing a two-stop strategy probably get bit here in around 10 laps or so. Around 30 to go, 25 to go, give or take.
And so the tires are evening out, so we'll see how this plays out because Derek Riley is also about 11 seconds behind Cody Dorsey. So Derek Riley did not have, already is a little bit behind and also lost the time for the undercut, and he cannot gain time as he's stuck behind Wingard. We'll see how this plays out, but right now Cody Dorsey looking like to be the favorite off of this. Cody Pruitt is the next car behind him, but Pruitt will have to make an extra stop. Down to turn at number 1. Winger trying to fight back on the inside of Derek Riley, but we'll see how this plays out. It's going to really be between Cody Dorsey and Braden Van Wingard, because Cody Dorsey is slowly gaining. He's about maybe 2 or 3 tenths faster than Wingard per lap. Wingard is 33 laps on his stint right now. He's probably going to try and split this in half, so they'll roughly be about 5 more laps or so. It's probably Wingard's ideal pit stop, and now if he takes 2 tires, that means he'll have less. He'll save about 4 seconds on pit road that he has to gain, and usually the 2 tires is faster already. So we'll see how this plays out.
Laps to go so far as Besgrove and Bottoms side by side here for second. Besgrove has a little bit fresher tires than Jason Bottoms as he'll clear easily. Bottoms is a really tight off of turn 2, gonna almost grip the outside wall. I don't believe he got into there quite enough to damage the race car, but may have scraped it barely if anything, but loses a position down to 3rd. Stan Brown side by side with Joshua Schmitz there. 4th. Brown up top, Schmitz on the bottom. Brown has a little bit older tires compared to Joshua Schmitz. As Schmitz kind of backs out of it there on the entry to turn 1. Doesn't send it too deep. Seems like he's kind of being a little conservative here, trying to get around Dan Barone for our 4th place spot.
He's trying to work the inside lane of Barone here. As Dan Barone's sitting in that 4th place spot right now. But can't find his way by just yet as Schmitz has the fresher tires by about 7 laps over Dan Barone. Now we're kind of waiting to see when Wingard will come down pit road, and yeah, he will now. He had about 14-second gap, 14.5-second gap to Cody Dorsey on when he entered pit road. Now he's going to need to make up probably roughly about 10 to 12 seconds as Cody Dorsey. He's yet to pass him yet. Now Cody Dorsey just gets by Wingard now. So now Wingard trying to get as fast as pit stop. Ideally, he wants to just take 2 tires here. You don't lose any slots as Jason Bottoms also comes down pit road, and Wingard is taking 4, so that's going to make it even tougher for Wingard. Jason Bottoms, does he take 2? No, he will take 4, so 2 tires, not going to be the call for any of these drivers. I think personally that would probably be the better call to take 2 tires, so Braden Van Wingard now getting off of pit road. He is 1 lap down to our race leader currently of Trenton Besgrove, but Besgrove will also have to come down pit road. The Cody Dorsey about 9 seconds back off of Trenton Besgrove. It's gonna kind of hard to kind of calculate this gap right now, as Wingerdon is 1 lap down by maybe about 4 seconds or so. As actually it is down. Cole Lewis just out in front of him by about 5 seconds or so. So Wingerdon is about. Wingerdon is 3 seconds back from Cole Lewis, so he's about 2 seconds from getting lapped. It's about 20 seconds behind Cody Dorsey. As there's Besgrove. So Besgrove good on pit road. So right now the gap is as Cody Dorsey. That gap will quickly come down as he's trying to chase down Dan Barone. As Cody Dorsey will cycle to the lead now as Dan Barone also comes down pit road. So Cody Dorsey now recycles through the race lead. But Brandon Van Wingerdon, the first driver on that is pitted, he is 20 seconds behind, and I don't think he's going to make that up in 35 laps.
Yeah, definitely a tall ask here. We'll see what the lap time's looking like. He ran the fastest lap time last time by with a 29.877. So he was about a second quicker last time by. This time by 8 tenths. But it's gonna be tall ass for him to do that. I think lap traffic could play a factor as well, because depends on Cody Dorsey. I mean, he's gonna be getting passed as well with all these drivers on the newer tires, so I could slow him down as well. But just a lot of factors to play in here with coming to 32 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, right now Van Wingerdon, he's 9 tenths of a second faster last time by. Now that with that math, that is enough, but that also will even out throughout the rest of this run. So he's gonna try. He needs to try and maintain the gap on tires as much as possible. So he needs to hope Dorsey just gets held up as much as possible. He needs to not get held up himself. Last time by, he was actually 1.1 seconds faster than Cody Dorsey. He needs to kind of keep that gap as long as possible, because he's still got about 31 laps to go for Dorsey this time by. Gap's about 18 seconds. But that about 1 second advantage for Wingerdon will quickly fall to about half a second and only about probably 10 or 15 laps. As Derek Riley, the other driver we were looking at that was going to be able to make it on a one stop, he's sitting in third. He's about 4 seconds in front of Brandon Van Wingerdon. So Wingerdon will no doubt get Derek Riley for that second place spot by the end of this one. But Cody Dorsey was also a little bit closer on fuel. He's about 50, pitted with about 53 to go. So that is just barely under the original, kind of what we originally thought, 55 laps. But the thing was, with 55 laps, that was probably without shifting. So Cody Dorsey, he can't push at all. If he pushes at all, he's going to push himself past his fuel number, and he's not going to make it on fuel. So he's got to be careful to not burn too much fuel, trying to stay out in front and shifting and running the longer lines, trying to really run fast. So he's got to be careful as well. He can't go full pushing either, or he's going to not be able to make it on fuel. Cody Dorsey right now still holding the race lead. He's got a 9-second gap back to Cody Pruitt. Cody Pruitt will have to make an extra stop. He can only about 10 more laps on fuel, but he's trying to hold off Brandon Van Wingerdon, as Wingerdon on the fresher tires. As thing is with Wingerdon, he actually had a 17-second stop, so he lost extra time on pit road of a normal 4-tire stop. Their drivers with 4 tires behind him, Jason Bottoms, Trenton Bisgrove, had 14, 15-second stops. But so Wingerdon also lost a crucial 3 seconds on pit road in the stop. And And the gap for the advantage for Wingardin is now only dropped to about 7 to 8 tenths of a second per lap. So that's already crucial tenths being taken off. As next time by, it will be 25 to go for Cody Dorsey. And Besgrove, and Wingardin is 13 seconds back, and he's losing time right now. Is down the back straightaway. So I think the gaps are already starting to even out for Wingardin. It's not going to be enough, but it's going to be between if Cody Dorsey if he has enough and hasn't pushed too much, if he can make it on fuel. And then the gap will be between Derek Riley and Van Wingardin. But Wingardin is about 1.2 seconds back to Derek Riley, which it sounds like he'll easily catch up. But the thing is, with Wingardin, he actually just ran a 30.8, so that gap for him only just dropped to only a tenth faster to Derek Riley. So Wingardin has hit that cliff on those tires to where they've fallen off. It looks like he had a little traffic last lap. He's now picked it back up to a 30.3. But he is picking up time, but now he's in the dirty air. Derek Riley, he has a little bit of traffic to deal with. Now he's stuck right in the dirty air. Riley here is now Wingardin down to the bottom, side by side for that third place spot currently out on the racetrack. As Cody Pruitt, he will have to pit in 5 more laps. I think Cody Pruitt is just trying to stay out as long as possible, try and catch a caution at the right time. So Brandon Van Wingardin sitting in third, looking like he will net a second place finish. Once Cody Pruitt will have to come down pit road. Jason Bottoms, he's 5 seconds back from Derek Riley, trying to chase him down as well. We'll see if Jason Bottoms will be able to get a third place finish here tonight. If he can get to Derek Riley. Here to see last time by ran a 30.9 and Wingardin at 30.7 as Wingardin had to fight his way by Derek Riley. So Van Wingardin is actually about to catch Cody Pruitt as well. Now, how much does a fight does Pruitt put up? This is also giving dirty air to Wingardin as well.
As Pruitt kind of lets him by pretty easily there as Pruitt coming down pit lane, looks like.
So Pruitt will come down pit road, so he will have to, that was his required pit stop, as he was not going to be able to make it on fuel. He only had maybe a lap or two more extra at possible, so 52 laps. If he ran that dry, that's going to be close for Cody Dorsey. He had an 11-second gap last time by, only a 10 faster for Wingardin. So right now it is looking good for Cody Dorsey to hold this race lead. The Derek Riley, he's got the 27 of Dan Stockerow trying to get by him, but he's held that gap to Jason Bottoms, as Jason Bottoms has angered his tires. It looks like a lot more compared to Wingardin, and Jason Bottoms has not been able to close down any at all to Derek Riley. So it looks like Derek Riley holding the third for now, but Trenton Besgrove is faster, as Besgrove is trying to chase down Jason Bottoms for that 4th place spot, as that gap now is only about 0.3 of a second. Out here through 3 and 4 as Pruitt just came out of pit road on the fresher tires. Almost went 3 wide with Besgrove and Bottoms there for a second. But Bottoms trying to fight off for that 4th place spot. But they have Brandon Cuxhausen in front of him. They also have just in front of him another lap machine as well. So just track blocked for Jason Bottoms in Trenton Besgrove, and this is helping Derek Riley able to hold off at that 3rd place spot. But here comes Besgrove now. He's going to the inside of Bottoms, and Bottoms looks like he got tight. He doesn't get to the outside wall a little bit. And so Bottoms will fall back to that 4th place spot. fifth place spot. Now this time by for Cody Orsi. Next time he crosses the line, it'll be 15 laps to go. But last this time by, we'll check the numbers here between Dorsey and Wingerdon. So Dorsey that time by 31.172 with 15 laps to go, and now Brandon Van Wingerdon that time by a 30.870, and the gap's about 10 seconds. And with that rate, he will not catch Cody Dorsey with 15 laps to go. So really the number is going to be closer between Cody Dorsey and his fuel number. Did he burn a little bit too much once he got off pit road? He was just kind of running a normal pace and saving. He would have been able to make it. We will see if Cody Dorsey, does he have enough? Did he burn just a little bit too much, or did he save? Did he run just at the right pace to where he's not going to have to save any fuel here? Any drastic fuel saving in the last 10 or so laps?
Yeah, we'll see here. I mean, that was Cody Dorsey. I'd be trying to fuel save if he knows. Obviously, he probably knows roughly how much laps of fuel he has left in his car. But it looks like he's not really saving too much. Lap time wise, he's pretty competitive, I would say, with drivers around his same tire age. Like, for example, Derek Riley.
Yeah, Derek Riley just actually a couple tenths slower than Cody Dorsey that last time by. Is Derek Riley, he's trying to hold off Trenton Besgrove. So in these last 10 laps, he's going to try and not lose 2 seconds to Besgrove or Bottoms. But Bottoms is really falling off the pace now, as he's actually 5 seconds out from Trenton Besgrove.
I think Bottoms had a bad lap last time by. It was almost 3 seconds slower than anyone in the top 4. So I think he made a mistake there. Something happened to him on that last lap. We'll see what his lap time is this time by. But he may have some competition behind him. Could be a good battle here for 5th place in the closing laps.
So Jason Bottoms has fallen back. He's actually might be on attack from Joshua Smith, so another driver who pitted. But Cody Dorsey is held a 9-second gap over with Wingerdon with about a 2-second disadvantage, 2/10 disadvantage. So at that rate, he's not going to be able to catch. Wingerdon will have to be kind of have fresh tires right now and still not lose, still stay around 10 seconds back if he wants to take, able to make it to Cody Dorsey. The gap between Joshua Schmitz now and Jason Bottoms, 0.3 of a second. As Bottoms is really starting to fall off. With 10 to go, looks like Cody Dorsey is going to have this one in the bag as long as he doesn't run out of fuel or a caution comes out on the racetrack.
Yeah, great pit strategy there, great fuel strategy as well with Cody Dorsey. If we do say this, if this thing does go green the whole rest of the way, which you can never know here late in these races, what could happen, especially when we have out here for 5th place here coming up here shortly. We need some little contact here, argy-bargy for his top 5 spot.
Joshua finished trying to close the gap in, but also keep in mind, Dan Barone 4/10 back as well. We could have a 3-way battle here for that final place in the top 5. But also now Trenton Besgrove, he's ran down Derek Riley and is now under a second. Last time by, Besgrove was 0.4 of a second faster last time by. Now Besgrove's to start to get in the dirty air a little bit. With 7 to go, Besgrove can maybe get his way on the podium here tonight if he wants to, with this two-stop strategy here from that last caution. But Joshua Smith still trying to hound that back bumper of Jason Bottoms. As the gap still about 0.2 of a second, as Dan Barone, he has been held up a little bit. Joshua Smith.
You're a 4-car battle for a top 5, top 10 spot. David Wells, Cole Lewis, Rusty Rafferty, all under a blanket here for 10th.
And all these drivers 1 lap down, but right now David Wells holding in 10th. Cole Lewis, Rusty Rafferty, Brandon Cuxhausen.
Side by side, we're 5th up here as well. Joshua Schultz on the outside, gonna clear Jason Bottoms easily for that top 5 spot.
Just Smith will take that spot away.
Some contact, Rusty Rafferty up the racetrack, and Cole Lewis off of turn 4. They keep it straight for now. Rafferty loses a lot of time there. He falls down to 13th place in that 34 machine.
Everybody holds on to it. That could have been a caution here late. And now Cuxhausen drives in deep, trying to pull the slider in 1. And now Cole Lewis will do the crossover. They're going to stay side by side for 11th. As now David Wells will pull away and try to be safe. But right in front of these guys, right behind these drivers, is Cody Dorsey. And Cody Dorsey, if he maybe gets a little bit of contact, no caution comes out, loses about 5 seconds. When Cody could be there, we'll see if that happens. But 4 to go here for Cody Dorsey. 5 to go for these lap machine. 4 to go for these lap machines as well. But they're facing at 3 to go actually, as Cody Dorsey's taken 3 laps to go. He's trying to work by Rusty Rafferty. He's got to be careful working his way through. He does not want to get wrecked here with 3 to go.
That would be heartbreaking right there for Cody Dorsey. And we're now 7 seconds as the gap, coming to 2 laps to go this time by. Derek Riley now under attack from Trenton Bestgrove as well for a 3rd place spot. A lot of battles here late on the racetrack. A lot of different tire strategies as well, kind of playing a factor in that one.
And Cody Dorsey looking to try and take this win. Last season, Cody Dorsey won race 2 and race 3 and went back-to-back for 2 of the first 3 races. He's looking to try and do it again, and tonight he had to start by winning it. He's got 1 lap to go for Cody Dorsey. 1 mile left here from the Magic Mile of New Hampshire. He's got no pressure out back, 6 seconds back to Brandon Van Wingeren. He got a couple lap cars behind him. But Cody Dorsey through 3 and 4 will have enough fuel. He plays the right fuel strategy and pit strategy. And off of turn number 4, Cody Dorsey, he's going to win at the Magic Mile. He'll win at New Hampshire.
The battle for 3rd still heating on. Here comes Derek Riley. On the back bumper, Trenton Bestgrove. Bestgrove up the racetrack off of turn 4. It's going to be a drag race still on. Here they come.
Bestgrove got tight, going to get to the outside wall, and Riley will sneak through on the bottom to take 3rd away. What a way to stay in it there for Derek Riley to hold on to 3rd as Bestgrove got by him on 1 and 2 on the white flag. And Bestgrove overdrove 3 and 4 and just got tight and could not get the power down off the corner. And Derek Riley sneaks back through on the bottom to take 3rd. On the same strategy with Cody Dorsey. But Cody Dorsey wins tonight here from New Hampshire, and he will burn it down here on the front straightaway. Looking to try and repeat last season and win race 2 and 3 of the season to go back-to-back.
Very well deserved for him. Great strategy call for that machine.
He burns it down. It's trying, maybe ran out of fuel already. Cody Dorsey celebrating here from New Hampshire. Or take a quick break. We'll be right back with our post-race interviews. Welcome back here to New Hampshire. We just wrapped up the 4 Years Outfitters 160 here from the Magic Mile. As we'll take a look, before we get to let's take a look at our results here tonight. As Cody Dorsey able to play the correct strategy, able to have enough fuel back there at the end, so just didn't burn too much in that last run. He'll pick up the win over Braden Van Wingert on the opposite strategy. He'll finish second. Derek Riley on the same strategy as Cody Dorsey going on the top 3. We'll talk to those 3 in just a moment. Trent Vesgrove rounds out in 4th. Joshua Smith in 5th. Jason Bowers rounds out 6th. Dan Vernon 7th. And rounding our E-lap finishers tonight, Dorian Hamilton had a dominant performance, but sped on pit road. He rebounds for a top 8 finish here tonight. Cody Brewer finishing at 9th. And David Ryan rounding our top 10. The 7th of Brandon Cuxhausen will finishing 11th tonight. Cole Lewis finishing 12th. Rescue Rafferty will finish 13th tonight. Scott Herberg in 14th. 15th, Mike Marshall. Dan Stocker on 16th. 17th, Brandon Newton. Stephen Horner 18th. 19th, Eli Shepard. And Dakota Bly finishing 20th tonight. And Nick Jatragala finishing 21st, not taking the green flag tonight. But our race winner of Cody Dorsey will drag him into the booth here in just a moment. Yeah, there we go. So Cody Dorsey, our race winner here tonight from New Hampshire. You played the race strategy there after that caution that we had there with about just under about 100 to go, and you're able to play the right strategy. Pit under that yellow. Just gonna walk us through what was going through your head on that strategy there throughout that last run.
Well, as soon as the green flag dropped, I knew that there was a way to lose a pit stop because I seen that you get 55 laps on a tank of fuel. So once I noticed that, I was like, man, you play your cards right, you can do that. And when I started seeing guys peeling down with I think on the first stint, 30 some laps or so like that, I was like, oh man, I said, this goes green. I might have a real legitimate chance here. I said, I might actually be able to play fuel strategy again. And, yeah, it was exciting. Like I said, I love doing fuel strat races. It's super fun.
Yeah, you were able to win this one on fuel strategy, kind of like almost like last season, as you won it at Legacy Texas, but you were on the non-fuel strategy, so you're kind of on the opposite end this time. But tonight you're able to pick up the win of race number 2. So yeah, what do you think your chances are next week? Next week for week 3, and maybe pick kind of a repeat of what you did last season, win race 2 and 3 of this of the season.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to win back 2 back races on fuel strategy in race 2. Yeah, it's kind of weird how that played out. I think we're at New Hampshire next week. It'll be interesting. Me and not New Hampshire. We're at Homestead next week. Me and Homestead have a love-hate relationship. I mean, last season it played great to me with me bringing home the championship. So, of course, that's going to have a little bit of that value. Just try to hopefully repeat what I did there the end of last season. Hopefully the track and stuff hasn't changed too much with the updates iRacing has done. If it hasn't, should be pretty decent. But we got some new fast guys in here and stuff. So it'll be it'll be a fun race to witness, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you're able to still pick up another win, a win here tonight, and win your first, get your first win of the season. Before you send you off on the way, any sponsor that you think for tonight's race win?
Of course, I want to thank you and Talon for what you guys do here at Legends Racing Network. Without you guys, we wouldn't be very much. People couldn't see us race and stuff. Got to thank Grant County Mulch. They were on the car again this week. Really appreciate those guys out there and stuff, what they do for us. Got to thank Quanta Bearings. They come on board this year for our title sponsor, our actual league name this year. Burlington Cafe, great presented sponsor. Love what they do for us. KK Woodscapes with Kevin Kyle, Admin Box, Smackin', and Okaya. If you guys get time, check them out on YouTube. They're a great band. And mostly I just want to take this time also to thank every one of the guys that raced tonight. A fantastic race we put on. I mean, 1 caution and 160 laps at New Hampshire. Just fantastic. So, and just like I said, just really big shout out to the guys tonight. This league driver stuff, I think we have a really good group and stuff. And yeah, just really want to thank the guys, what they do out there for us each and every week. Like I said, they're great drivers. And again, thank you guys.
Once again, congrats on your race win tonight. We'll see you next week here at Homestead.
Will do. Thank you, Aaron.
So that was our race winner tonight of Cody Dorsey. We'll bring in our second place finisher of Braden Van Wingert. He was on the opposite strategy of Cody Dorsey there in that final little bit of a run. So what was going through your head there? That final last about 100 or so laps and your different pit strategy as you did make a 2-stop there through that final run.
Well, I was pushing hard, seeing if I could catch him. I knew that there was a slight chance, and I thought maybe if I could get close enough and get Cody to have to push a little bit, he would run out of gas, which didn't happen, unfortunately. But props to him on that. That was pretty cool to see him work that strategy.
Yeah, but you're able to try and chase him down there late, but you still pick up a second place finish here tonight. So very solid run. So, but you had the extra stop. So kind of how was that difference between those kind of older tires? As you see, tire wear was a big factor tonight. A lot of drivers taking that 2-stop strategy. So can you just talk us through how are the tire wear tonight and how did it feel out there?
It felt good, especially doing the 2-stop. I was struggling after about 30, 35 laps on the tires where the car would just get extremely tight and I wouldn't be able to get it to rotate. So for me, with my driving style of being more of a push driver, I wanted to go with that 2-stop strategy and tried to work it to the best of my ability, but was unable to do so.
You're still able to pick up a very solid second place finish and the best finisher on that 2-stop strategy there late. Before we send up for any sponsor link for tonight's second place run.
Yeah, I want to thank the guys over at Spirit. They helped me put in a lot of work this week since I was out of town before the race, and they did a good bit of research for me. And then I want to thank myself for sponsoring myself. That was I was hoping to get the win this week for the brand, but was unable to do so. But glad to bring home a second place finish for sure.
Yeah, but once again, congrats on your second place finish. We'll see you next week at Homestead.
Thank you.
So it's our second place finisher of Brandon Van Wingert, and we'll bring in our third place finisher there of Derek Riley. Now you're on the one-stop strategy there late. You're a little bit farther behind when you started it, but you had the battle there late with Trenton Besgrove. So what was going through your head those final few laps trying to hold off for third?
Yeah, I knew when he first got him relative, he was like 5 behind. I honestly didn't even think about him, and then like 10 laps later, he was right behind. So I knew he was clearly better, but started pushing pretty bad. And he actually got around me, but then final lap he pushed really bad. So it all worked out.
You able to get a third place finish there with able to find your way through, but kind of what was going through your head on those strategies there, kind of with the different tire wear as you kind of with Cody Dorsey on that strategy. So what was going through your head there to that final kind of pit sequence of that strategy?
Yeah, the strategy, we wasn't sure how it was going to work out as far as cautions, but obviously it worked in our favor. But yeah, after that first caution, I thought it was jacked it all up, but luckily it played out and better for Cody, obviously. But no, it was I actually the first caution I was just getting on pit road penalty, but yeah, we were able to get through it.
Yeah, but you're able to get up a very solid third place run here tonight. Before we send off any sponsor they think for tonight's third place run.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Quantum Bearing, Burlington. Hold on, last year, so I don't forget anybody. KK Woodscapes, Admin Box, really just everybody in the league, because I don't think anyone expected to run 160 laps with just one yellow. So big shout out to everybody.
And once again, congrats on your third place finish here tonight. We'll see you next week at Homestead. So that was our third place finisher of Derek Riley. That wraps up a 160 lap race here tonight from New Hampshire. Very clean, as you heard from Derek Riley and Cody Dorsey. Very clean race here tonight, as only 2 or 3 yellows there. So very clean race, and we saw a few pit mishaps as with Dorian Hamilton was very dominant. It looked like he was going to be able to win that one. We played the strategy right, but unfortunately, just pit road mistakes ended up costing him.
Yeah, just a huge mistake there, and Luckily, he rebounded their 8th place, but got a feel for him there because he probably had a chance. Probably was going to win here tonight. Obviously, you know, things could happen, but definitely was a hands-on favorite to win that one. But that's kind of racing though. Just gotta limit the mistakes, especially on pit lane during Group 5 pit stops. Yeah, Cody Dorsey takes advantage of that one and gets the win here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, Cody Dorsey, we'll see if he can kind of pull off what he did last season and win race 2 and 3 of the season, go back-to-back to open the first 3 races. We'll see how that plays out for Cody Dorsey next week at Homestead. But before we head off here at from New Hampshire, coming up next here on the Legends Racing Network tomorrow night, we'll have the Inter Cup Series at Legacy Atlanta at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on a Wednesday. Next Wednesday night, we'll have the Superstar Car East at Chicagoland, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Thursday night, and next week for Thursday night, we'll have the Quantum Contender Series, race number 3 of the season at Homestead at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time next week. But that was it was definitely a fun one tonight here from New Hampshire. But so long here from the Magic Mile. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network.